All right. Welcome to the first episode of The Dark Match with myself, Terry Gant, in Evanston, Illinois, and my podcast partner, Khalfani Myrick, in Chicago, Illinois.
Yo, what's up?
This is episode 1. The idea here is this is a pro wrestling podcast by two pro wrestling fans, and we're gonna just basically give you sort of our ideas and our thoughts from big budget, big money, wrestling events or whatever for now. So tonight we're gonna talk about WrestleMania Backlash, and then maybe the next episode will be about whatever AEW's thing is at the end of the month. And we're gonna see if we can do these basically coincide when the big events are, and see maybe down the road we'll see if we can get a few more in. But who the hell knows? Right now we're just thinking we want to discuss the big events that kind of happen. You know what I mean? What do you think, Cal?
I think that's perfect because anything more than that, I might. If anything more than that comes and is like WrestleMania Backlash, which we'll get into, I don't think I can do this anymore. I already quit.
We started with WrestleMania Backlash because we felt like we need something light to get us into this.
That was a fail.
We shouldn't have left so much up to the bookers of the big companies like WWE to keep us thrilled with what the shit was what, you know? All right, so let's get into this. We're at Working Title. Working Title is the dark match, which I kind of like. And we're gonna see if we can do a few more segments for you guys as time goes on and what we can kind of come up with, right? But let's get right into it, right? So, Cal, WrestleMania Backlash was this past Sunday, and I, for one, my first impression personally was, I thought it was very clever of them to retitle Backlash to WrestleMania Backlash, because for years I've thought, man, you know what job I don't really want? Having to book a pay-per-view after WrestleMania. But if you're booking a pay-per-view after WrestleMania and you've literally put WrestleMania in the name, somehow it doesn't sound so bad. You know?
I have the exact opposite take on this. Because WrestleMania Backlash to me makes sense if there are storylines that carry over from WrestleMania into Backlash.
Yes.
And then there's some kind of a fight that happens because of something that happened at WrestleMania. That was not the case. So to me, this is the dumbest fucking title of all time.
What? So what I'm wondering is, what then were the Raws and SmackDowns after WrestleMania 4, if not to deal with the backlash of WrestleMania, right? By the time you get to the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, in my mind, we should be on some new shit, because I don't want to see rematches from WrestleMania.
Right.
Is what really worries me.
Right. Backlash should be somewhere in September. Right?
Yeah.
Put Backlash in September. Some things happened at SummerSlam. You got Backlash after that.
Yes.
Let it go. You know.
Whatever comes after WrestleMania should be a fresh start. We're at first pay-per-view of the year now. Hypothetically. Right. Like WrestleMania is the season culmination. Right? And then we're starting a new season at whatever's after that point. We're going with fresh shit. In our heads, I think that would kind of be the thing that would work. But that isn't what we got.
No. I mean,
it's not what they did.
The WWE in the vault has a whole bunch of names of pay-per-views that are awesome. No Mercy, Judgment Day, Vengeance would go on the Backlash thing. We know what that is. But I mean, you have other, you can come up with other titles.
No Mercy is actually one that you could use. Yes.
No Mercy's perfect.
Yeah. All right. So since we are doing WrestleMania Backlash, and that kind of is what they stuck us with.
Yes.
I'm going to just say the first match on WrestleMania Backlash on my notes. What I definitely what I noticed immediately, and I just did not care for it, was I liked Batista doing the intro promo thing. I didn't mind that. What I didn't need was interspersing Batista's new movie scenes into it, because let me tell you what pro wrestling, I'm walking into a wrestling pay-per-view, which nobody's really paying for because now they're on the Peacock, right?
Right.
But it's not, we're going to call it a pay-per-view. But somehow I'm seeing Batista talk about whatever the hell he's talking about. But I'm also seeing Batista holding a 50 caliber machine gun or some shit, shooting the zombies. While he's talking about this wrestling shit, right? Like I just felt like, come on, man. The movie promo is in your own open. How hard are we really promoting this movie? I don't need to save the movie industry that hard. I got to save the pro wrestling industry, damn it. Like, what are we doing here? And then I have in my notes that so the first match is Charlotte Flair.
Can we stay with the zombies real quick?
Stay with the zombies.
Let's stick with the zombies. I was
hoping this is going to come up a couple times.
I was hoping the zombies wouldn't come up until like the third match of the night. Which, if you haven't seen Backlash, get ready for the zombies. But I don't know if you noticed that every time they cut to the announce desk, 2 or 3 of the people in the Thunderdome were zombies.
No, I did not notice this.
Look, so here's my take on this. Zack Snyder ruins everything. There we go. That's it.
Oh. You put it on Zack. I'm not putting it on Zack Snyder only because, and I would love to put it on Zack Snyder, but I'm not going to put it on Zack Snyder only because I have discovered, so there's a criticism of Zack Snyder that's very common. Zack Snyder hates sunlight, right? He hates colors, right? But apparently in his new zombie movie, the sun is always up. There's plenty of colors in that shit, right? I would blame if even in the Thunderdome they're using the zombies, that is a choice the WWE made. That's not on Zack. I bet somebody up top said to him, we can go you one better. Because you know how they are. They can always go one better. We can go you one better. We'll even, and our fake fans, if our fake fans in the Thunderdome, we'll put the zombies in there. I got to go back and now I got to go back and look to see if I noticed this. I did not notice this.
You'll notice it like now that you've seen it. I mean, because you only need to watch one segment where they cut to the announce desk, but they're always there. There are always zombies there.
Holy shit!
In the announce desk.
That would have driven me nuts. I'm glad I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was.
And I think also part of it was also I'm trying to ignore the announcers because I think Pat McAfee, for all of Pat McAfee has some assets that he could kind of bring to the wrestling business. His announcing this night, as the night went on, was bring me Mauro Ranallo back. I would rather have the hyperbole of that dude than Pat McAfee just looking for metaphors and just squeezing wherever the fuck he could.
Pat McAfee to me reminded me of a young Jerry the King Lawler. All of the jokes were bad.
Yes.
He really needed a third person. And that, I think the announce teams are atrocious on both shows. But I don't know why I'm coming with all the hard takes. I think Backlash just pissed me off. And so I'm just going to be angry for the rest of this podcast.
This is going to work fantastic.
I'm just ready.
All right. This is weird. For this is one of these cases where the part of Terry Gant is going to be played by Khalfani Myrick.
Hey, I am ready. There's only like one match where I'm going to be like, okay, this match was great. The rest of them.
I'm normally the angry guy here. All right. So match number 1 is Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. And my notes are, I liked almost all of this. Almost all I'm going to say, right? Okay. But what I didn't like, okay, so there was a point where just watching Charlotte throw strikes, it wasn't working for me. The strikes weren't good. They were just, her strikes weren't good. And it even seemed like Asuka was having to, like, I don't know if Asuka was having to do a little extra. And the other 2 ladies were just so much bigger than her that she just got to throw her whole body in this shit. And it just looked different than I'm used to that looking. But then her bad strikes became contagious. Next thing I know, Asuka's throwing bad strikes, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when we got to the finish of Rhea Ripley's Riptide finish, like, it just suddenly Asuka's just kind of laying there. Like, it didn't look like she had grabbed. There was a lot of great spots, but when we got to Rhea Ripley is so good at hitting, right? And so good at like slamming and throwing that when she finally did do her Riptide finish, I felt like, oh, that's the finish? Yeah. I think she needs a new finisher. Like, that finisher here now doesn't look nearly as impressive as just about everything else she does.
Yeah.
Her finisher is picking people up and dropping them. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that's right now. And Charlotte also, right in the beginning, Charlotte's coming out and she's coming out in her I thought it was like this Alice in Wonderland, like evil queen thing.
Cruella DeVille. It was Cruella DeVille. 101 Dalmatians. She had the Dalmatian spots.
Cruella.
It was okay. That was about the only thing I liked about Charlotte Flair in that match was her ring gear.
I was like, what? She's the queen. So that's why I put it with, I was thinking maybe this was an Alice in Wonderland, evil Alice in Wonderland thing, but it's Cruella DeVille. Okay, Cruella DeVille. Cruella, I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, maybe. But why? Like, I don't, if you're Charlotte Flair, to me, if you got Charlotte Flair on the roster, you bring Charlotte Flair out as Charlotte Flair because that character works. Right? Even though she got jobbed out of WrestleMania, right? So she got screwed out of being in a WrestleMania match. She wasn't there for that, right? Charlotte Flair doesn't need a character tweak.
Right.
To work.
Right.
You know? She's Charlotte freaking Flair.
So
tweak everybody else. Don't tweak her.
Well, there needs to be some Charlotte Flair tweaks. Because Charlotte Flair, so one of my main criticisms with this match, right? Like one of the biggest things, one of the things I love about pro wrestling that's got me in it and kept me in it for so many years, is that you don't know who's going to win that match. They know who's going to win, but you have no clue who's going to win that match.
Right. Yes.
I walked into Backlash knowing that Rhea Ripley was going to win that match.
Absolutely.
And Asuka didn't need to be a part of it. And they keep jobbing out Asuka, which makes me so mad because she's so talented and so good. Yep. If I were her, I'd be just phoning it in at this point because you aren't going anywhere. And then Charlotte Flair, like, basically, I'm not going to go as far as to say, like, she no-sold things, but oh my God, you couldn't keep her down.
Yeah.
You could just match.
She was the Hulk. Charlotte Flair was the Hulk.
God. I was like, stay down.
She was Thanos. She was Thanos.
Down. Like, nobody else looks strong in this match because you keep just getting back up until the finish where you just decided to sit on the ring apron and watch her.
She just stayed outside the ring. Yeah.
What?
She just stayed outside the ring when that happened. Yeah.
You got up for everything else, and then the one thing you don't get up for is when you lose the match.
Apparently, when she knew the finish, was coming, then she didn't run in and interrupt anything.
Right.
That finish happened.
Yeah. So like Charlotte Flair, I think I have all the respect in the world for Charlotte Flair. She's an incredible talent, incredible wrestler. I am curious about like what the backstage politics of this is because she looked like overly strong to the point of like making everybody else look bad. Like you just can't really beat Charlotte Flair unless like you pin somebody else, right? And like so like in that case, and WWE does this a lot with a lot of their people. It's like, okay, now who can beat her?
Yeah.
Right. And unless they're like playing around with Charlotte Flair and Rhea until Becky gets back, like I can see them doing that. But then, you know, why are you even letting Rhea run with this at this point?
Right.
Like, you're going to turn Rhea into Asuka, and God, why are you doing that?
Why would you do that?
Rhea is fantastic.
You're right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
This is one of these things to me where what ideally might be needed is the idea that like Charlotte Flair doesn't need the Raw Women's title to be on top, like or to be successful.
No,
she doesn't need the title. She needs a compelling storyline. She needs something to do. Yes,
sure.
Right. People will watch Charlotte Flair whether she's holding a title or not. Right. So why is she even in this match?
Right.
Does it need to be? Rhea Ripley should be taking all comers right now. Right. Charlotte should be busy with someone else. Right. And then come your big shows, right? Your SummerSlam, your Survivor Series, the Royal Rumble, Mania, Charlotte's in the picture. But Charlotte doesn't need to be in the picture 1 month out from WrestleMania.
Right. I think that what the other issue that WWE has right now is, and they have this across all of their divisions and all their levels, is that they basically are, I don't know if it's like the writers, I don't know what's happening over there, but like they can only push like 2 people at a time.
Yes.
And so the entire rest of the women's division is just sitting down waiting for their chance at Charlotte Flair, essentially.
Right. Or whoever the SmackDown Women's Champion is.
Right. Yeah. And so like, you know, there's basically, you know, well, like where's Alexa? Why was Alexa not there?
Well, because Alexa has ooze coming out of her eyes. And so like last I saw, she had a crown of like oil slick.
Well, don't watch Raw because now she's got a puppet that she talks to. Which you know, I like the occult Alexa Bliss thing that's happening right now. I'm like to see how it pays off.
All right, we'll get around to like booking Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss in reverse, because that's literally what's happening here. Like we're doing this in reverse, so it's like Alexa's become the thing taking Bray's power, which is how we should have started to get to the Fiend. Right. But we already had. Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that later. All right.
Yes.
Second match.
Yes.
Second match is I have the Dogs, the Dirty Dogs, versus the Mysterios.
Best tag team name. I do not like Dolph Ziggler, aka fake Shawn Michaels, at all. But that tag team name of the Dirty Dogs, specifically because he's from Cleveland, Ohio, makes me mad excited. Like, I was like, okay, I'm not actually rooting for you, but like, I do like this tag team. Like, now you're an actual tag team and not just Rude and Ziggler. This is fantastic.
So I like Dolph Ziggler a lot, and I love Bobby Roode even more.
Yes.
I don't know. So here's my problem with the Dirty Dogs, and I wrote like, so I like the Dogs' entrance, and I think what they're really missing is an amazing heel manager.
Yes.
Because I think that the Dirty Dogs as a team on their own are going to get lost. They are still someday going to get lost in the WWE tag team shuffle, because they don't really care about tag teams there. And they're good enough as performers and workers that legit you shouldn't be forgetting about them. Right. And they shouldn't be pushed underneath. They shouldn't be brushed aside. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are so talented as a team, as individual performers and as a team, that what they might really need is a mouthpiece who can talk, a singles wrestler that they're supporting, who can also support them, who's in a title picture, so you're seeing more of them. Normally, I would have thought that Bobby Roode would have been that singles wrestler, because Bobby Roode's NXT run as glorious Bobby Roode with that interest in the robe and shit.
Oh my god!
Like, I think that was a thing where he needed support. Here, all I could think about watching them was, you know what they need? They need Adam Cole. Ooh. They need Adam Cole, right? Ooh. They need a singles guy who can support that, like the Dirty Dogs and whatever the hell that's all about, right? Like, there needs to be a heel manager to basically make sure that there's enough cheating going on, that belts are on everybody, and if they're pushed to the moon, but they're singles guy, Adam Cole is your singles guy. And then usually, because I always like to make like kind of like horseman stable kind of comparisons, right? Mm-hmm. There's that fourth guy, and I'm trying to figure out who that fourth guy would be. In my mind, that would have been Chris Hero had that worked out, but it didn't. So we're not going to worry about that. I'll come to the fourth guy later. But the Dirty Dogs as a team, I was okay with, and I didn't even know this was even a thing, because I'm not watching the other like SmackDown, right?
Right.
When they came out, I was like, oh, all right, I can get behind this. And watching them like in the ring, okay, yeah. I can see this. Everything they did was the right kind of thing. You know, people talk about FTR being solid. These guys were that solid in this match versus the Mysterios, which wasn't the Mysterios, is versus Rey Mysterio, because we had to do this whole shit where Dominic Mysterio got beat up by the Dirty Dogs backstage. And like, you know, now Rey's got to come out and fight by himself. And as far as setups go, I don't mind this as a setup, because as a wrestling trope, the tag team guy who has to go out and fight two guys on his own because his partner's hurt, when we know the partner's going to come in and do the run-in, that's a tried and true thing. I can live with that.
I can dig that.
The problem I had is I really hoped it was going someplace else. I kind of hoped that it was the breakup of the Mysterios, because Dominic needed to get out of his dad's shadow if he needed to get anywhere. He was going to come out, turn on Rey, and join Ziggler and Rude, and they become his mentors, right? Like, that's where I hope this was going. Because in no part of my mind do I think that Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio are a top tag team.
No.
Right? No. Dominic Mysterio, I don't care if Dominic Mysterio is being trained by Mil Mascaras himself, right? I don't see Dominic Mysterio as a compelling story in anything other than it illustrates that pro wrestling is a thing that like writers and scripters get involved in. You know, like it takes me out of watching him do what he's doing at the amount of time he's been doing it. it reminds me that there is a level of creative control involved in pro wrestling. Right.
Yeah.
If this was Rey Mysterio Jr. teaming up with Grand Metalik, right? Grand Metalik with Dominic in their corner, right? And they won the tag team champions. They won the tag team championship rather. And then Grand got hurt and Dominic had to fill in. I'd be like, okay, I accept this. Yes. That works for me.
Yes.
But when we're telling me Dominic is trying to be a gamer, Dad, I can do this. Let's go. Let's be the first father and son tag team champions. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, if I believed it was a thing that on top could work, I'd buy this. But I'm not sure I ever cared if there was ever going to be a father and son tag team. Like, I don't, and you're it? Really? Dominic is the one? Ooh, this is going to hurt.
I feel pretty much everything the same way as everything. Because, like, what do you go from here, right? Yeah. Like, you're going to have Dominic and Rey get killed by somebody. Who knows? Because they don't care about the tag team division, who knows where it's going to be? It's, Elias and Jackson Riker, the New Day, they're just going to come back in and do this again. So, which I wouldn't be mad about because I love the New Day. But, they kind of playing themselves in the corner. The only reason I like it is because I feel like this is Rey's, like,
going out.
His farewell tour.
Give Rey something. Give Rey something, possibly on the way out the door.
Right. And Rey was like, you know what, like, let's get this moment. I can be really proud of my son. And I'm kind of like, okay, I can feel that. But from like a wrestling perspective, I'm like, Dominic Mysterio, and he, he's good, but he's not, I don't have any.
Here's my weird problem with it, right? In baseball, I'm a huge baseball fan, and in baseball, and this is a Cincinnati connection for you, Khalfani.
Okay.
My favorite baseball player of all time is Ken Griffey Jr. And one of the reasons I'm a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan is because when Ken Griffey Jr. was early on in his career, he got to play in the coolest thing. For the Mariners, he got to play in the same outfit with his dad. In fact, there was a game in which him and his dad hit back-to-back home runs. Right?
I remember watching like him steal a ball from his dad in the outfield. It was
right.
Yeah, like awesome. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But both of them are Hall of Fame players.
Right.
Like my problem with this is Dominic Mysterio might someday be fucking awesome. Who the hell knows? But I'm not seeing Dominic Mysterio has not had a singles match I can remember.
No.
You know what I mean? Like not that he's never had a singles match, but nothing memorable.
Right.
In Dominic Mysterio's like wrestling career to this point. So I feel like if you're telling me that it matters that they're the first father-son tag team champions, what I need out of Dominic Mysterio is something that shows me that he is capable of busting out shit that makes me pay attention to Dominic Mysterio.
Right.
I need Dominic Mysterio to give me a match that is TJ Perkins level. TJ Perkins doesn't work there anymore, and he might also be an idiot. But like what TJ Perkins does in the ring, in my mind, if you're the son of Rey Mysterio Jr., I kind of might need to see that out of you.
Right.
And in Dominic Mysterio, I don't see that. What in fact I do see is a lot of storyline that keeps Dominic Mysterio in my grill, right?
Right.
And the Dirty Dogs are a good enough tag team that they're gonna get the belts back, right? Like they will beat Rey and Dominic. We could be trading these belts back all summer.
I hope not. I know that. I'm not saying I hope not that the Dirty Dogs don't get the tag team titles back. I do hope that they do, actually, because I think that makes for compelling storylines. I just hope that they're not trading back and forth with the Mysterios all summer, because
I feel like you got to a pay-per-view and you took Dominic out of the match entirely, so he didn't even get to earn it. Like we're swooping in to pin somebody, and this is basically the finish of our match. Is did I even write this down? I think. Oh, I kind of did.
The frog splash.
Yeah, hit that awkward frog splash. I wrote things. I wrote that very crisp work by Rude, because Rude is great.
Great.
There was a wheelbarrow to a famouser for a false finish that I thought, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the sort of like I call it the lawn dart to the super kick.
Yes.
Which was.
Can we talk about how many times Rey Mysterio was thrown and slid across the ring? Because I think it happened at least 5 times that Rey Mysterio slid across the ring like a toy car. Which is why
I do believe that I really wished that there was an actual Dominic Mysterio-Rey match, because Rey does shit at his age still that's worth noting.
Incredible.
Like, holy crap. Like, dude, when Rey got slid across and then fucking like Dolph Ziggler kicked him in the face on the outside, I was like, holy shit, you're taking that?
Yeah. That was
You're taking that right now. Here you are taking that while like you're the only guy in the ring. So like your son should be on the apron right now, seeing what it takes for what you guys do and the way you guys wrestle to be championship level. Not sitting in the back waiting to do some cool run-in spot. Well, not the cool run-in spot, the limping run-in spot. Like this should be you guys trading this shit back and forth is what I think the match we ought to be getting. Not what we did get. That bothered me.
You prefer a Dominic versus Rey?
No, I prefer a Dominic. If I'm gonna get Dominic and Rey in a title match, what I prefer is a match in which the shit Rey does is supported by his tag team partner to make it worth him doing it, right? His tag team partner needs to kind of be learning that this is a level you're gonna have to work at, bro. Right? I felt like in this match, by booking it the way they did, we kind of protected Dominic on a pay-per-view to have him not go out there and do very much. He gets his big frog splash spot for the end of it, right? But like really what we kind of needed was him to sort of earn a championship.
So here's what I would like to see moving forward. I would like to see that this was Dominic Mysterio's Bad Bunny moment, and then he goes to NXT or goes somewhere else for a while. Because
he's not going anywhere. He's a champion now.
I know. I'm just saying what I would want. I know that Dominic Mysterio and Rey is going to be a thing at least through SummerSlam, but like, why? You know, we got Angel Garza's back there in catering. Humberto Carrillo's back there in catering.
Yeah.
You know, let's not. Let's just take the titles off of them, and then
honestly, that's a thing too. Like,
move forward.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like, that gets back into like how the WWE makes tag teams and then abandons them. Like, or won't put wrestlers together who could be a great tag team and then supports them. Because Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, like that's not a thing where you need a manager to come through and do the thing for them. Just let them go work.
Right.
Let him go work. Them versus Rey and Dominic, I could watch that. Them versus Rey and Dominic versus Ziggler and Rude, right?
You're right. Because then you've got them to do all the other things. Dominic can be protected standing on the apron for like 97% of the match. He comes in, does his frog splash, gets the pin, and we're done.
He can come in and do holds and like he can do all kinds of things. But I don't need him backstage while all this is happening. Is my point.
Right.
Backstage, he's not learning anything. He's just doing the writer's bidding.
Honestly, we've spent way too much time talking about what is probably the second worst match of this card.
But it had the Dirty Dogs in it, and I love the Dirty Dogs.
Let's give all credit to Bobby Roode. Also, this was my favorite Pat McAfee. Like the only thing that Pat McAfee did last night that I liked was he refused to call him Robert Roode the entire match. He just called him Bobby Roode.
He called him Bobby Roode the entire time. Which I appreciate. I appreciate that.
I loved.
I appreciate that because Robert Roode is mad awkward.
It's why can't he?
Robert Roode is awkward if he's not gonna be in the lead singles wrestler role. Calling him Robert Roode is goofy. Call him Bobby fucking Roode. If he's gonna be he's glorious Bobby Roode. He's gonna be in a tag team doing this shit he's doing. Right? You put him in a team called the Dirty, which I did not even think was a Cleveland reference. I thought it was actually a dumb tag team name. I just liked them together.
I mean, I thought I don't know that it's a Cleveland reference.
Jackson Riker belongs in a tag team called the Dirty Dogs.
No, he deserves to be not in the WWE.
I agree, but I'm saying since he's there,
he needs to be in one called the Clan.
That's fair. But don't say that out loud because he might be listening. Next week there'll be a tag team called the Clan, spelled with a Q.
Oh,
And you know damn well Vince McMahon would do it.
I brought this on myself.
You sure did. You forget what company we're talking about, sir.
Wow. Yeah. Well,
that is exactly what would happen. Like Elias and Jackson Riker would,
they can't.
They just fired Drake Wirtz, right? They just fired referee Drake Wirtz, former hardcore deathmatch wrestler Drake Younger. They just fired him. Have you heard about this Drake Wirtz situation?
No. Please continue.
So he's a referee in NXT, at least he was. He used to be a deathmatch wrestler. I watched him in PWG as Drake Younger. He's from Indiana, lives in Indiana, but apparently what he's been doing in the last couple of weeks is while wearing his NXT gear, clothing, whatever the shit, branded clothing, he has been attending board meetings of his local school board or whatever in Indiana where he lives to rail against the masking of children because it's against God, it's against nature, because he believes that the mask mandates make it easier for sexual predators and child traffickers to go unnoticed because you can't tell who they are, right? So they can just swoop into our schools to steal our children. And it dehumanizes our children because they can't see our smiles. They can't see facial expressions, right? Hurts the kids. He had at least twice done these Zoom meetings with these big old speeches and shit while wearing WWE branded shit, right? Today the WWE fired him.
Okay.
But the Clan with a Q?
Oh. There's so much to unpack right there.
Yeah.
You bring him back and bring back Lars Sullivan and let them get their ass kicked by the Hurt Business.
I'm going to tell you, this is the company that made they made an Arabic heel wrestler right after 9/11.
So yeah, I think it's important to understand that Terry and I are huge wrestling fans. Terry has a deep historic knowledge of wrestling, and I'm more of a casual fan that really likes wrestling, but doesn't know as much. And if you are listening to this and you don't don't know that much about wrestling, but you just like the two of us and want to hear us banter with each other, which we appreciate, you should understand how much the WWE has done that is awful, including bringing out a wrestler that on September 12th, that was a Islamic terrorist. That happened, and it was one of the worst things that they've done, but it's not maybe not.
And not the fault of the guy who was the wrestler, because the guy who was the wrestler didn't deserve any of that.
No, he was just doing his job. He probably should have stayed at home that day, but So
in fact, after that happened, any brown wrestler on the roster should have called in with the flu, just in case, knowing who they were working for.
There's so many times that should have happened for so many different people, but
I even wrote in my notes. So for that last match, I actually even wrote in my notes, enter Dominic. Turn? ? I thought Dominic running to the ring was to betray his dad. I was like, yes, he's gonna betray him, and then he didn't, and I was like, fuck, this is gonna be bad.
No, WWE is too sentimental, and I give Rey Mysterio deserves his little. Not his little. Rey Mysterio deserves all the flowers and deserves this run with his son to close his career out.
And then his son can betray him.
And then his son can betray him, or they can just break up or something.
Betray him by SummerSlam, Dominic. I'm just throwing it out to the universe. Betray him by SummerSlam.
I mean, definitely stab your dad in the back. Absolutely.
Yes. Sit him out on his back. It's wrestling tradition.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Next match.
We are at the point where I need whiskey.
Okay.
Because we are at the Damian Priest.
It's true. I just looked down at my notes. You're right. Match 3 is where shit got real, quote unquote.
Oh my God.
Damian Priest. Do you got your bottle anywhere near you?
My bottle is sitting next to me. It actually sits on my desk. If you're listening to this and you work with me, I don't drink it during work, but it's here.
Legion of Fans. Okay. We're about to discuss the I guess the sort of the hidden secret of pro wrestling is we, the fans, have to sort of swallow our we have to suspend our disbelief. We have to swallow our brains a bit when we're watching wrestling to be able to enjoy this thing. But we understand exactly what's going on for some of us. But we would like you, wrestling bookers, writers, whatever the shit, to not treat us like we're idiots. And sometimes they fail to not treat us like we're idiots. So we have The Miz versus Damian Priest. And the build-up to this match, I'm not even sure why we're still even having these two feud with each other. Because honestly, they're only feuding because Bad Bunny was hanging around, and Bad Bunny's not hanging around anymore. Right? Bad Bunny's gone. I personally, with Damian Priest, I don't think Damian Priest is entirely, I wouldn't have that dude up on pay-per-views just yet. But hey, he's big. He's somewhat charismatic. He really likes metal. I don't get this whole Archer thing because every time he does something with his Archer arrow bullshit, the timing is just off. And it's clear to me he doesn't have a bow and arrow in his hand. And he's doing the Usain Bolt arrow shooting thing. And then the pyro has to go off and it's always somewhat slightly late. And I can't help but notice it.
Always a second late.
I keep noticing it over and over. The man just, when some wrestlers come out and they jump up and they punch the ground and flames shoot up, the timing is dead off.
It's awesome.
When it's Damian Priest, it's like that dude just went and made an arrow shot move, and we're giving it the timing as if the arrow has to actually travel through the air. We're watching an invisible arrow move, and then the fire comes up. Well, the invisible arrow is moving awful slow.
Right? Like for an arrow, arrows move fast. I've never been shot by an arrow.
Right, but I've seen arrows shot.
I've seen arrows shot, and they move rather quickly.
They give the dude a bunch of moves that are heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, named, themed, or whatever. And I gotta say that I love that he's a metalhead. I'm a metalhead. I love metal. And I love that this dude's got a metal fan kind of persona sort of thing. Mm-hmm. The problem I have with it is I hate hearing the announcers mention it.
Oh.
If I hear Michael Cole say anything that sounds like it's Slayer related, or is it Michael Cole? Michael Cole's our guy, right?
Yes.
It's Cole and McAfee. I'm telling you that I want to throw a shoe at my TV every time I hear Michael Cole recite Slayer lyrics. Because he likes to say chaos rampant in an age of distrust. And I fucking hate it. Because when he says it, it's not a Slayer song now. Now it's just some random words come out of this man's mouth where I'm not sure he gets the context of what he's saying. No. He's reciting lyrics from the song South of Heaven, but they don't sound from his mouth. They're not Slayer lyrics. No. Now they're just pretentious. Because when was the last time you in a casual conversation, Khalfani, ever used the words chaos rampant in an age of distrust?
Yesterday.
There are times I was talking hanging out with my mom.
Backlash.
There's times I'm hanging out with my mom at her house at maybe a Thanksgiving or a Christmas, and I'm thinking it to myself, right? But I'm never saying it out loud. When he says it, I hate it. Hate.
Honestly, this is the best thing we can say about this match. Is that we hate
best thing.
Damian Priest's entrance because everything else about it,
yes,
was okay. So if you didn't watch WrestleMania Backlash, what happened that has me staring at my whiskey bottle at the bottom of it is that it was supposed to be a lumberjack match.
It's a lumberjack match,
which means that there are a bunch of people around the ring that make sure that you can't escape because the people that were fighting The Miz is a Weasley heel who tries to get out of everything and will just run away.
Yes.
So they have all these people stationed around the ring to make sure that Miz doesn't run away. And his partner, John Morrison, also, can we please change his name? Because it's awful. He goes to go try to convince the Lumberjacks to be kind to The Miz. And when he gets there, he finds a room.
Stop. I'm only stopping you because Legion of Fan might need to be keyed on one one major thing that matters for lumberjack matches.
Okay.
While the ring is surrounded by wrestlers to make sure all the action stays in the ring, half of the lumberjacks will be heels,
right?
Who are sympathetic to our bad guy.
Right.
The other half will be babyface good guys sympathetic to our good guy. That part matters, which is why he's going to try to convince the lumberjacks to be sympathetic to the heel here.
Correct.
Because he knows some of them won't be.
Right.
Because our heel in this match is an asshole.
Which he's
continue.
I have so much respect for the Miz right now. Like,
and his entire setup is what I actually did like about. I was liking this up until he opened the door. Here.
Up until he opened the door, because when he opens the door, he finds a room full of zombies.
Yes.
Zombies.
Because we got to do that co-promotion.
And I would like to note that he closed the door.
Yes.
And the zombies just stayed in there like good little children.
They did.
And okay. So.
But then he ran away and left the door open.
He did leave it open. I thought he closed
it. He left it open. Because had he closed it, they couldn't have come out. But he left it. He walked away from the door, and that's how they started shuffling out. The door was open.
The zombies had very strange, inconsistent movement abilities.
Yep.
Like some of the zombies climbed over the barricade to get to the ring at some point, but couldn't climb in the ring. Like, was there a hex on it? Like
they could not. Right. Yes.
Scarlet Witch
and Legion of Fan, you should understand it for the WWE. It has been established. I'm gonna say there's a reason for this, right? It's like the Marvel No Prize. My WWE No Prize, in which we're gonna institute this now for our podcast. The Wrestling No Prize, the WWE No Prize here is there is a reason. There's precedent for why it was the zombies could not get in the ring. Do you know how much magical shit has happened in WWE? The Undertaker wrestling for 30 fucking years.
I mean, that's fair.
Vince
McMahon wrestled God, that happened.
And we just had a month ago or so, right? Like a demon wrestler dude, right? Like wrestling in this ring is so imbued with mystic energy, latent mystic energy, that mere zombies could not crawl into it during the match. That makes sense to me. There.
And apparently black people can't be champion either for running 2 days.
Well, there's a black dude been champion for a while now.
Yeah, no, I'm still mad about Kofi.
Kofi's run was because black people got to have a chest to be champion. Kofi got a bird chest.
Shots have been fired at what could possibly be the nicest human being on the planet. No, Kofi didn't deserve that.
That's my only explanation for that. You can't be some bird chested. Can't be this bird chested cat just being a champion for too long. Like you gotta have some level of gravitas to the up top situation if you're gonna be a black champion in this company. I love Kofi.
I disagree with you.
Kofi Kingston stick the skating on pancakes.
Nah, Kofi Kingston as champion. Like the fever pitch that there was for Kofi getting the championship, and if he would have had a good run, right? Like not the Randy Orton storyline.
I agree,
but because there's so much. The issue that we'll get to that in a second. Let's get there in a second.
Okay,
let's get there in a second because that's like 2 away.
Yeah.
Are we done with Miz and Priest? It was awful. Miz is great.
Okay,
and he can carry matches.
Yeah, and he had to carry Priest.
Fantastic.
I got the zombies. Morrison did some parkour. I like Morrison's parkour thing.
It's fantastic. Loved it.
I like they worked that in. I wrote Priest won, and I hated it. And let me tell you, another thing happened here, and this is another reason to just not do some of this shit.
Than John Morrison.
The zombies did have better hair than John Morrison. But now it's gonna be, I guess, since Priest won. And the zombies kind of ate the Miz at the end of it. This kind of works in a way because the Miz is injured now.
Oh, right. He is injured.
He tore his ACL in this fucking match.
Right.
That dude I think it's an ACL. Oh. And he may be an ACL is like a year.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a while. Okay.
When the Miz comes back from this, the Miz needs to come back like Jesus. right? Like he needs to come like a giant. The whole stage needs to shift like fucking like 90 degrees, right? No. A 90-degree turn should happen to the stage when the Miz after being eaten by zombies. This is what we're gonna have, right? The Miz needs to come back.
No.
Hard like. Zombies ate that man in the middle of they killed the lights.
Okay.
Zombies chased the announce team away in this match.
I would be 3,000% with you if we weren't talking about the Miz.
Yeah, well, look, they're advertising a TV show. We got to go off and have a vasectomy any old way. And he tore his ACL. He's gonna be gone for a year. The zombies ate him. He out of here.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't want the Miz coming back looking like Jesus, like
not looking like.
I mean, like that's the ring pod.
Like Seth Rollins gets to come back looking like Jesus.
Look,
like,
Seth Rollins.
I'm talking about how strong the dude's when he comes back. Going out like this when the Miz comes back, it's got to be like when Stone Cold walked out and then Stone Cold came back.
Right.
Like the Miz got to come back to like a pop, like to like a situation that is so over the top to welcome him back.
Yes.
Because that dude is giving up a lot here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To be in this situation, you know?
Right. Give up. Yeah. You got to give the Miz his flowers.
I'm saying respect for that dude.
Yes. Yes. Right. Hats off to the Miz.
Yeah.
And Morrison.
Yeah.
Not so much Damian Priest. Moving
because Damian Priest, I think, is they are trying it with Damian Priest. I want to like the guy, and I just feel like it too soon. Too soon is what I'm gonna say.
Right.
Too soon. Right. It is not that he should never be. It's just too damn soon.
Right.
Because everything happening outside of the Bad Bunny couple of months,
right?
Everything happening for Damian Priest to me should have been Aleister Black.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah. If you're gonna give a guy this sort of a situation here, right? This is Aleister Black. Because Aleister Black did nothing to be sent to catering for months and months and months and months on end, and is more talented than Damian Priest.
Yes.
And as a character, a sinister metal, like kind of supernatural dude, more compelling than Damian Priest. Damian Priest is just taller.
Yes.
That's all.
A Vince McMahonism.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, now we go to the next match.
Fucking match of the night for me.
You might be okay. And I made a lot of notes for this match.
I
didn't really expect to.
I love this match.
Bayley versus Bianca Blair. And the first note I wrote is heel Bayley is great.
Heel Bayley. Here's what I want them to bring back the mixed match challenge. The mixed match challenge. I can speak. Yep. And I want a tag team with Bayley and Sami Zayn and just let them be as obnoxious as they possibly can.
Honestly, that might be the best fucking idea because I also believe Sami Zayn is horribly underutilized in that way that Cesaro is horribly underutilized, and like they don't know what they like. I think maybe the WWE, I think the We does know what they have. They know what they have in Sami Zayn.
Right.
They just cannot either figure out a way to put it up top or don't believe it would work up top, which is just not true.
Right.
Right. Like, but because everybody up top has to be the size of Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn's never going to get there.
Right.
Just can my contract end already? You know,
right.
Because I don't have.
Or at least make a very compelling U.S. championship run, like like we're kind of like how both the European and the Intercontinental Championships meant something in the 90s and the 2000s. Like the U.S. title doesn't mean shit right now. Make a mid-card title, right, where you have a bunch of like super talented dudes and they are just fighting the shit out of each other all the time.
Yeah. And
it's like you care about all of them and you care about that belt, and that's compelling. And it doesn't take away from WWE Championship picture, your main event picture.
Yes.
They might pull a Savage Steamboat on one night, right? Because you might get like Ricochet is ready for a Savage Steamboat. Like he's gonna do it at some point. Like let him do it.
All right. So let's get back to like Becky and Bayley and Bianca. What I was thinking about while watching Bayley is like heel Bayley is like a wrestling mob wife, right? Like
She's the worst. Oh my God, yeah.
She is able to channel a level of like a sort of entitlement and rage, right? And heelishness that is so fucking glorious to me that I just want to see it every night. I want to see whatever that is every damn night. And it like everything from the haircut to the mannerisms to her voice. Like I swear she's just a mob wife in wrestling gear, and I like everything about it. My problem with Bianca, and Bianca is stepped into this role, and I'm okay with that. But what I need from Bianca is to stop stutter stepping into your moves. It's like Bianca Blair knows what's coming, but she's unsure of how to execute it, and she doesn't want to mess it up. So if you watch her do some things, there's a few stumbly little stutter steps that she takes, and it makes me think that a thing has been set up and she wants to get it just right.
That's fair.
Just go with it, Bianca. Everyone else is a pro enough. You're not going to break their necks. Like I don't think you're going to hurt them.
Right.
I think you should just go with it. They're ready to make the shit look good. Get it done.
I can't argue with that. I think that Bianca Belair has all the star power in the world. Actually, if you would have asked me last year which one was going to be bigger, Bianca Belair or better, Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, I would have said Rhea Ripley. Right now, I'm saying Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair is, in my opinion, the top woman on the roster. And yes, she does need a little bit of work
in terms of total package, because when she's talking, when she's moving, just her general movement,
everything.
When she's giving off that like, oh, we're gonna fight, you're not on my level. Like when that's happening, like both of them do that well, but there's a sort of edge the way that Bianca kind of does it. That's very familiar to me from growing up on the south side of Chicago, right? Like I get that she's from somewhere in Tennessee or whatever, but there's a certain thing that I've seen from Bianca Belair where I'm like, oh, no, I know what she's tapping into right now. Right. Like Rhea Ripley is a character. Right. Like I can see that thing, right? Bianca Belair is a person. Yeah. Right? Like I can see what's happening right now. Okay, she's having to tone something down.
Yeah. If you be palatable for television on the street, Bianca would put that to you like right there, and you know you're about to get your ass whooped.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, there ought to be a segment where she takes her earrings off mid-match. I
don't trust the WWE to do that well.
To do it right, yes.
Do it right. It's just going to end up being racist.
I was thinking there's a thing that she does with her ponytail where she's kind of twirling it absently sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like she should never touch the ponytail until she's ready to use it.
To whip somebody with it?
Like or do whatever she's going to do, because like the ponytail should be like Lawler dropping the straps.
Is there a point where we get rid of the ponytail?
Well, when she turns heel. Because right now, people are thinking Bianca Belair needs the ponytail because she's fucking using it in every damn match. Right?
Yes.
When she was coming up in the Mae Young tournament, she used it because it was like the thing that she had, right? Right. And she did that. She whipped Sasha with it at Mania, and we heard it for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles.
I heard it from here.
Here, in this match, she uses it in the finish to like kind of wrap the leg of Bayley up, and she slipped out of it. Like that was kind of a botch. Like she went for it but couldn't hold it, and the ref had to keep counting. And I was thinking at that moment, like, damn it, like if you can't get it clean, don't do it. Right? We need you just have the ponytail, but if you're gonna be using it, you gotta nail it. But you shouldn't be absentmindedly ever even touching it, because now we're looking for it to be used, and that's not really a thing, right? Like,
yeah, she doesn't use it that often.
We need the oh shit moment. When you start twirling it as our oh shit, here it comes. Right. And then something cool should happen.
It's like when Shawn Michaels tunes up the band. That's what
yes. Which he would just do for too damn long.
Yes.
Let's see if I'm
great. Okay, so like we don't have a lot to say about this match because it was so
I called the ref an idiot. Yeah, I hated the referee in this match.
Well,
because he kept telling Bayley that she cheated too much. And I'm like, she cheats too much. Wait, hold on a second. If she's going for rope breaks, then count the damn rope break. Like, what are you doing? Why are you're at her like she's being a bad person? You're a bad mom, Bayley. Right? I mean, you're a bad dance mom.
Yeah.
What the hell? I was like, stop getting in the way.
Yeah.
Like, he really was making it about him.
Yeah. I'm with you on this. Yeah. The referee was like in the match way too much. But they put on a solid performance. That was a hell of a match.
I agree. I did.
And you know, now Bianca's like 2 for 2 on these pay-per-views because the WrestleMania match stole the show.
Yeah.
Bianca versus Sasha.
Because wasn't that was like the end of the night one? Like night one, that was that was the main event.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
The crying in the beginning of the match, like the emotion that was there. Everything about that match is fantastic.
The performance was just top fucking notch. And I feel like here, like both of them did what they had to do. And there's a comedian on that does like TikTok videos that Bayley just reminds me of. I'll send you a link to this comedian who does these TikTok videos, and you've probably even already seen them, which is like she's basically being her mom, like when relatives are coming over or whatever, oh no, you got to clean up, you got to clean this up, or like somebody's got to cut the grass, and like when companies coming over, when the family's coming over for Thanksgiving, and that's all I see from Bayley. That's the person I see Bayley being, and I love every bit of it.
Every second.
With Bianca, what I see is an actual underneath wrestling talent who is stepping up at every level, who is getting to straight, like earning to be at the top and showing you new shit every month to be there. And I want that. That's what I like.
Yes. I'm with you. Yes.
However, next we have Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. And the first thing I noticed is, did Drew McIntyre get new wrestling gear? Are his trunks different? Because this shit was tighter than a gnat's ass sitting on a lemon wedge. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if maybe he should stop washing his gear in hot water.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care enough about Drew McIntyre to notice if he had new.
Drew McIntyre's he looks like an action figure. Like he does. I can see all of his points of articulation, and it disturbs me.
Okay. I really, really want to like Drew McIntyre. I really do. I think that,
and I do like Drew McIntyre. I like Drew.
I would like Drew McIntyre more if he had meaningful storylines, because they haven't given me a reason to care about Drew McIntyre, and I've seen the same Drew McIntyre match now 11 times, and I don't need to see it again. So
part of the problem is you keep seeing him versus Bobby Lashley 11 times.
Right. And Braun Strowman.
Yes.
And we'd done the Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre.
Yes.
So like Drew, I would like Drew more if I got to see Drew do other things. But we don't get to see that. And so now I just don't care about Drew McIntyre, which is a shame because he's a great wrestler. I love the Claymore kick as a finish. It's fantastic. But there's nothing that I cared about in this match at all, except for that Bobby Lashley retained because, Black Power. But aside from that, there was nothing else I cared about in this match.
There was a point here where Braun Strowman did a dive with a kind of a tuck or a roll or something in it. And I was like, holy shit, that move worked for me. Because a lot of times with diving, the thing that we all notice that we know, well, I at least noticed it, that I'm a bit over, is you can tell the opponents who are catching the person all got together to discuss it first.
Right.
What I like are dives when it's like, holy shit, that came out of nowhere.
Right.
Right. And no one saw that coming, which in AEW, like Darby Allin does that expertly. Like he throws himself at you, and it looks as if the opponent had no idea it's ever coming.
Right.
And Braun Strowman did one of these in this match that was like, oh, yeah, those two guys really did just happen to be there. And no one got murdered.
Which is surprising because he's a giant human being.
And I was okay with that. Like that worked for me. I have, what is this next thing I have? I know what it was. There was the light bright spot. I called it the light bright spot, which is where Drew Drew and Bobby are up at the top of the ramp, and Drew throws Bobby through the lights or whatever the shit, the stage setup or whatever the fuck. This is my whole problem with the entire Thunderdome experience. I don't like the piped-in crowd noise. Right. I don't mind if the piped-in crowd noise is just noise, right. But when it gets to the point of chants,
right,
no, this can't work. It's a bunch of TV monitors, right. And I know there's just no way in hell all those TV monitors got together to do a holy shit chant, which is what I heard when Bobby Lashley got thrown through the light bright display, right? Like all of a sudden, like the WWE is telling me that however many people watching at home on their shitty computers like mine, right, are all suddenly all holy shitting at the same time in unison.
Well, nah, I mean,
but I did like the sparks, all of that. Yes, that looked crazy dangerous. I liked all of that. In fact, the fight leading up there, I liked all that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the physicality of this match I did enjoy.
Sure.
I enjoyed a lot of the physicality happening. Right. I enjoyed the fighting of this match. What I didn't think was necessary was these three guys being in this match.
No.
But let me tell you what's wrong here is there's no fourth guy at their level that will occupy one of their time for a month in a big grudge match with some shit behind it so the other two guys can have a title match to bring us to three guys fighting at, say, SummerSlam. We're a month out of WrestleMania and Braun Strowman's in a three-way dance with these dudes, right? And if we're going to get to the point where we get to our finish, which is, damn it, like, Bobby Lashley coming out of nowhere and pinning Braun Strowman or whatever the fuck was happening here. Basically, the way Bobby Lashley came out of nowhere was like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
As being out of the match for like 8 minutes, right?
Yes.
To come in and get a pin, like I just felt like, what in the entire hell? Stop. Like, no. Like, I guess I wouldn't have minded so much if it was like Bobby Lashley was powerbombed in a sit-out powerbomb through a table, right? And Drew and Braun were in the ring fighting, and then Drew gets a Claymore kick on Bobby, and then somehow or another, like Bobby Claymore kick on Braun. Bobby comes in from being laid out on the table, does some fucking forearm or something to Drew to lay him out, and then pins Braun. Like, that would have made more sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, anyway that Bobby Lashley wins, I didn't really care how it happened because I kind of figured it was going to happen. But yes, I do think that there were definitely better ways of finishing that match. And it was like I had to rewound. I had to rewind it. I was like, where the hell did Bobby Lashley come from? I was like, where was he? And
he was nowhere on your camera because he was back in the light bright display,
which I'd forgotten by that time. My issue with this match is, number one, you see it on Raw like every week. Number two is they have not figured out Braun Strowman, and they need to figure that out. Like,
they had him figured out, but then they unfigured him out around the same time they unfigured out Bray Wyatt.
Right.
He's been unfigured. Braun Strowman was a monster among men. He was fucking bulletproof. He was Brock Lesnar. You could not beat this man. You couldn't pin him. Like, fighting him was futile. Everybody had to figure out a way around Braun Strowman.
Right. And you don't put him in a title picture. You
didn't need to.
Run roughshod over everybody and just let him do his thing. And now you have him in the title picture, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do with Braun Strowman now? Because you're not getting him the title. We've seen that. He's not getting this championship.
The title picture is between Bobby and Drew.
Yes.
Braun is there to just make it interesting, quote unquote. But if you want to make it interesting, you got to put the belt on.
If you want to make it interesting, you have literally anybody else in the roster come up. Even though Kofi did just beat Bobby the other day, you bring somebody else up and was there Kofi slander here?
I just said about that, which was I don't understand how bird-chested ass Kofi Kingston done beat Bobby Lashley when clearly Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman can't. Like, what the hell?
The power of positivity, my friend.
You gonna make me actually talk about what was wrong with not breaking up the damn New Day. All right, anyway.
Oh my God. Okay. No.
Anyway, next match.
Yes. Final match of the night.
Final match of the night. Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. They did a good package on kind of more or less the history of Cesaro, which is exactly how you know Cesaro ain't gonna win this match. But like the fact they put Cesaro in this match is how you knew Cesaro wasn't gonna win this match. And if anybody deserves to be fucking champion in this company, the thing is, it's Cesaro. But with 1 month in and no real build up and no real heat between them, it's just some open challenging bullshit over the last couple weeks. Cesaro's in our main event at WrestleMania Backlash. This is just all kinds of unfair. Because Cesaro probably should have been in something, in my opinion, that led up to the last match we just watched.
Right.
Which would have made more damn sense.
Cesaro, so I'm happy for Cesaro. I think Cesaro is arguably the best wrestler, actual wrestler on the roster. I think Cesaro to me is like, he is similar in his skill to Bret Hart, which is an untouchable figure. Sure. And the issue with Cesaro that I have with Cesaro is that he's similar to Bret Hart. And there's a reason that Bret Hart, again, let me make sure that I'm clear. Bret Hart is the greatest professional wrestler of all time. There's a reason that Bret Hart got phased out.
We'll get into an argument about that at a later date.
I might take back what I just said at that later date. But I mean, there's a reason that Bret Hart is considered one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time.
Yep. And he's in my top 5, I'm pretty sure.
On anyone's Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers, Bret Hart should be there because he was great. Maybe not like your favorite, right? But like if you're talking about like in-ring, doing everything, making somebody else look good, being able to put over, he could put over a pencil in the middle of a match. That was Bret Hart. Cesaro was the same thing. But there's a reason that those guys don't work, and that is that they don't have any, depth to their character. Cesaro has no depth to his character. They don't let him speak long enough. And if he does speak, he doesn't have that kind of charisma. I would love to see Cesaro as a champion because I think you can do so much with him in terms of other people having a match and the getting away from like the Bobby Lashley kind of mold. But you have him going against the greatest version of Roman Reigns we have ever and will ever seen, and the hottest person in the company in Roman Reigns. And you cannot let that end anytime soon without like a big payoff like The Rock. Right. Like The Rock. I mean, you got to let it run into The Rock. Yes. And so at no point do you find Cesaro to be a believable person, and you got to figure something else out with Cesaro. And that just makes it so hard to watch this match. You're just watching it being like, you're going to lose. You're going to lose real bad, Cesaro.
My issue with Cesaro is, I agree with every single thing you just said. What Cesaro needs, and what a few other guys in this company need, is the thing that works for Cesaro is all work, and his level of play is the sort of thing that doesn't work at the top. When you're going to be a top guy, when you're going to be a Bret Hart, when you're going to be a Shawn Michaels, when you're going to be a Stone Cold Steve Austin, when you're going to be the Undertaker, when you're going to be Ric Flair, right? What plays at the top isn't this. Right. His work does, right? But his play is a detriment because we can't. But when this company gets a top heel, we can't see guys who have fun in any way, shape, or form. We need angry people, right? Someone has to be angry and have an issue with the guy at the top. Cesaro has no issue with the guy at the top. Cesaro just wants his opportunity. Right. Well, the way this works in wrestling is if you just want your opportunity and your time has come, bro, this ain't going to be it. So what Cesaro needs is someone to do that. Cesaro needs a Jim Cornette. Cesaro needs a Paul Heyman, right? And this isn't like someone needs you to talking for them. Someone needs to be the person to bring the issue that their guy is the guy, right? Because let me tell you who doesn't need Paul Heyman? Roman Reigns doesn't need Paul Heyman.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, well.
Yes.
All right. We're going to agree to disagree on that because I like that it's there, right? But lately, I don't know.
I don't. Okay, does he need Paul Heyman now? No, but you don't get this Roman Reigns character without Paul Heyman.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah. And I'm not saying that. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And
you
so,
don't get this Roman Reigns without Paul
Heyman. Yeah. Yes. He can't just drop Paul Heyman right now because you started with Paul Heyman. That's how we got here. So, but yes, I agree with you. I think that what I would love to see is
someone should be in between the fans and Cesaro.
Yes.
So we take Cesaro seriously. Yes. So his opponents take him seriously. So the company can take him seriously.
Yes.
That's
he needs some sort of a manager or like a buddy wrestler, which I don't know who that would be because of how they have things broken up right now.
I legit know who it would be, but I hope he doesn't re-sign with the WWE.
Is that Samoa Joe?
No, it's perfect buddy wrestlers, Daniel Bryan.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Perfect for him. Literally, like the two of them together, would be a force that runs through the WWE. Their whole purpose should be we're going through the WWE, putting actual wrestling back in wrestling.
Right.
And that's their whole. The fun and jokes go away.
Which is what they tried to do with Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak.
They did try that with Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. In fact,
they gave up on it
for that role of the manager. Behind them, Samoa Joe is that guy. Joe doesn't need to be in the ring anymore.
Who doesn't need to be in the ring anymore?
Joe doesn't need to be in the ring anymore.
Don't do that to me. I want. So here's the person.
I want Joe to remember these days, and the only way to make sure Joe remembers these days is that Joe never takes another bump again.
Okay, well, we're talking about Joe's physical. Yes. Okay, in that
that's
case,
all I'm talking about.
Yes,
that's all I'm saying.
Samoa Joe has had a lot of injuries and probably should not wrestle again, but. In terms of like making the product good and like in this incarnation, if Samoa Joe, right, if Roman Reigns is in the middle of the ring, cutting a promo, talking about how he, acknowledged me, I'm the tribal chief, blah, 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 all of those things, which he's fantastic at. I'm not taking anything away from that. He's fantastic at it. And Samoa Joe's music hits and Samoa Joe is just like, because he's always mad. Joe comes out here and like, you've got a week and I'm taking that strap. You're going to have the hottest rivalry. And that could carry, that can carry through whenever The Rock comes.
That is, yes. I completely agree with that. If Samoa Joe's music hits, I don't even know what his music sounds like anymore. I can't remember it. But if I heard it, I'd be off the couch.
I would lose my shit.
I'd be off the couch losing my mind because that I would believe is a possibility.
Right.
Because Samoa Joe would deliver it like it's a possibility.
Exactly.
Cesaro delivers it like it's a thing that like smart marks like us would love to see, but we don't actually believe it. Right?
Right.
So
Cesaro's like, I'm so happy to be here. Roman Reigns like, sit your ass down. And that's what we got.
Because the whole thing felt rushed. Mm-hmm. There were things I did like in this match, though. I liked pretty much every damn thing Cesaro did.
Oh, I love the match. The match was phenomenal.
There was various uppercuts this dude threw that were just like springboard up. He threw a springboard uppercut that was like a holy shit moment. Like, wow.
And selling the shoulder too. Like he never dropped selling the shoulder.
He sold that shoulder and arm the entire damn time.
Fantastic.
He sold it so much that whatever the hell they have Cesaro do should just elevate that dude even. Roman Reigns should not want to be in the same hallway with Cesaro.
No.
Like you know what I mean? Like Cesaro's coming out of the locker room, Roman Reigns coming out of the locker room, and Roman Reigns is like, we're gonna go with this. Because like not acknowledging, he didn't want to like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going face to face with that man again. That man broke me.
If that would have happened, right? Like if at during this match, he would have taken Roman Reigns to the limit, right? Taken him all the way in up to like Roman Reigns has to do something dirty to win.
Yep.
And now we're getting a Roman Reigns versus Cesaro for the foreseeable future. And Roman Reigns is like, look, I can't fight Cesaro again anytime soon. That dude is the truth. That would have been amazing. But unfortunately, that's not what we got.
And we also didn't get like what would have, I think also kind of protected Cesaro a bit is if the Jimmy and Jay show had kind of come in and mucked it up a little bit, right? Like that didn't even happen. Cesaro basically got beat roughly clean.
Yes. So But what it did set up that I am excited about is the continuation of Seth and Cesaro. And I'm sad that Cesaro's not going to be in the title picture anymore, and he's got to work his way back up there if he ever gets another shot at it, which he may or may not get. But I do like the Seth and Cesaro turn at the end when Seth comes down in the most phenomenal suit. Speaking of Bayley and how great of a heel she is, this version of Seth Rollins where he's just, I don't even know how to describe him, like 80s gangster Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Like I just don't know. Like I just picture him in like Scarface, like with that laugh and the one glove and the suits that are just ridiculous. Like,
speaking of which, this is the thing I also don't like about Roman. Why is Roman wearing the Infinity Gauntlet? Like, can we stop that? Like, and
why is he wearing
loading up
like police pants, cargo pants still?
I hate this look.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not wearing a bulletproof vest anymore, or whatever the fuck that was, like, or a catcher's protector, chest protector, whatever. Yeah. I'm glad he's not doing that, but he's still wearing like utility cargo tactical pants, and like he's got this the fucking Infinity Gauntlet that he doesn't even need to do the load up the arm thing anymore.
He doesn't do it anymore.
He does. He did it in this match.
Did he?
He loaded up for the Superman punch. He just missed it. He went for the Superman punch, and that's when he got uppercutted.
Oh, okay.
He fully loaded up the Superman punch, and I was like, wait, the head of the table's loading. He's doing the fake load up thing. You're the head of the table now. I gotta acknowledge you with your pretend like Toys R Us glove on. Hell no, Jimmy ain't gonna fucking acknowledge you now. You're still cosplaying.
Yeah. So the nice thing about this match is that it set up two different storylines potentially. One is Cesaro and Seth, the continuation of that, which is just going to lead to great matches and more of Seth's maniacal laughter and crazy suits, which I am here for all of that. And it sets up a Jimmy J Roman, like what the hell's going to happen there situation. And so I'm actually curious about, like, do we get Jimmy turning on Jay and Roman just watching it happen? Do the Usos themselves turn on Roman? Like, how does this end? Because I'm here for whatever's going to happen next.
Yeah, I think that the Usos have come up and they've become compelling in a way that is even better than they were before.
Yes.
With Roman, this is good story.
Yes. My
problem is I feel like you sacrifice Cesaro to good story for the Usos. And I don't like that.
Which is fair. Fair.
I think that's my issue there.
Which is fair.
This always works out in the case of, like, somebody's a flunky to the big man. Somebody's got to tell the flunky to the big man, you're better than this. Blah, blah, hijinks ensue. That's classic. I can live with that.
Yeah, it just sucks that Cesaro was like the bridge match to get there.
Yes. Yeah.
But we all knew that starting this match with Cesaro wasn't.
We did. Well, we knew it coming in.
We knew it coming in.
In the end, Roman Reigns basically chokes out Cesaro. Cesaro does not tap. The referee just kind of calls it. He ends it. So it ain't like he pinned Cesaro. Cesaro didn't tap. They think they're protecting Cesaro that way. We all know that's also not true.
Yeah.
That match ended. That was the end of our pay-per-view. And everybody got to go home. Whew. All right. Yeah. The match was good.
Match was fantastic.
Because Cesaro got so much shit in that fans should be like, that dude should be in somebody's main event.
If they can figure out a way of keeping Cesaro hot because like when Kofi got hot, he had the New Day.
Yeah.
If they can get somebody in Cesaro's corner that can help him on the mic to build that kind of thing, I actually think Shinsuke Nakamura would be a good partner for that.
Shinsuke on the mic?
No, but like Shinsuke, like not on the mic, but like being kind of his hype man. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna go back to building our international stable. Look, I like stables.
Right.
I like stables for all the right reasons. Build our international stable. All right. Yeah. All right. That can pump Cesaro, push Cesaro up.
Yes.
And support him from underneath.
You can even get Kevin Owens in there.
I was thinking it. I just didn't want to say it. Yeah. Sure.
I mean, yeah. Kevin Owens, Shinsuke, and Cesaro, put them together.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing, and then Cesaro gets another shot. I've been long
awaiting the formation of an in the WWE like former ROH heel, like a former ROH stable, right?
Yeah.
They didn't think we'd be here. They didn't want us here, but now that we are here, let's take it.
Hey.
You know?
Because once Roman Reigns loses and he disappears for a while, that title picture is going to be so hot. Yeah. Right? Because you don't have anybody else, unless they give it to Seth, which they probably will. You don't have anybody else that you can't take the belt off of. So now you're tuning in every week, you're tuning in every pay-per-view to be like, okay, this is a legitimate fight. I don't know who's going to walk away from this.
Right.
But you know what? With Roman right now, you know that he's walking away until either Seth Rollins or The Rock gets in there. And I don't think there's anybody else on the planet that could show. I guess John Cena could, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that got us through WrestleMania Backlash. And now in closing, I have this segment that I want to introduce because
before we get there, can we talk about how Hell in a Cell is in June now?
What was it? Some other time before?
It was in October.
If it was, it might have been, but I never really factored in when Hell in a Cell was. My issue with Hell in a Cell comes down to I need some build up to why we're going into Hell in a Cell.
Right.
Hell in a Cell's been announced, and I don't even know who's in a hot enough feud that wants to even be in a damn cell.
Right.
At this point, seems odd to me.
I need to get that off my chest.
That's fair. Hell in a Cell is a consequence, not an event, right? Like,
yeah,
you done fucked up so much. We got to go to Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I got to throw you off the top of a 20.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like all night long, we're gonna be doing this because y'all been fucking up like that. Right. Yeah, I accept that. Okay. All right. So, I have this segment in mind. Me and Khalfani are gonna try this thing that will, at some point, hopefully, my brain is gonna lead to a watch party of watching matches involving the greatest pro wrestlers who've ever done it, all in like one sitting, right? And I had it in my working title at the time was the WrestleFan Hall of Fame, but we might now be calling this the Dark Match Hall of Fame, right? Because not that these wrestlers belong in dark matches, but I think that the wrestlers who end up on this list in a Hall of Fame called the Dark Match Hall of Fame is kind of hilarious, and I kind of like it, right?
And the only way you're going to actually see them, like the only way the WWE would actually book any of these people together would be in a dark match.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we also had the working title for this show being Through the Curtain. So I think that the podcast working title right now is the Dark Match, but this Hall of Fame thing being the Through the Curtain Hall of Fame might actually be even more appropriate because you never know who's coming through the curtain. So what we're going to do here is every episode, Khalfani and I and any guests we have will nominate, or not even not, but just designate a wrestler or tag team to go into the Hall of Fame for viewing of a match on a future watch party. Yeah. So let's say hypothetically, if we were on a desert island and we could only watch wrestlers matches with particular wrestlers on it, who would be the wrestlers we'd be watching? Right. We won't duplicate. So whoever, if Khalfani designates somebody, I will not be designating that wrestler or tag team. I will simply be designating a different wrestler or tag team. Right. So this is what we're doing. It's like if you're in Chicago and you ever listen to WBEZ, the music guys, Greg Cotton, Jim DeRogatis have the Desert Island Jukebox. This is my Desert Island wrestling card. Is the way I'm envisioning this. Does it make sense, Khalfani?
Makes sense to me. Yes.
All right. So we'll let you go first with who you'd be nominating.
Okay. So
I have an idea who you might be nominating, and I've already written their name down on my list here. I'm ready because you've mentioned them earlier in the podcast, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one person that I'm going to think of in terms of like they have entertaining matches, and I think that they're great. I'm actually I don't know if you're going to get this one. I would actually watch Shawn Michaels matches.
I did write Shawn Michaels down.
Okay, right. I didn't know if that was the person you think of.
That is not who I thought.
Shawn Michaels. So I one of the other things I am doing, I started watching wrestling around like 94, 95, but I was a small child, and so I don't remember it. So I'm actually watching back through from 96 up until when I started rewatching wrestling again after a small hiatus in like 2015, 16. Yeah. And so I'm rewatching like Shawn Michaels in his heyday, and good God, was he good. He was amazing. And so I think that he's had such a long and storied career in so many amazing matches. Even the one where he oversold Hulk Hogan, which actually might be my favorite Shawn Michaels match, aside from the Iron Man match. I just think that he's so talented and he's so entertaining and sells so well that all of his matches are good. Not all of them, but like he just puts on such a good show that I could watch and be entertained by Shawn Michaels matches for eternity.
All right. I accept this. I was not always a huge Shawn fan, but I will admit that I watched a lot of great matches that Shawn was involved in. One of my favorite matches of all time involved Shawn Michaels. And he wasn't really the reason why. Well, that feud was the reason why, but I wasn't a Shawn guy, so it didn't really matter.
Right.
The guy I'm picking, my first guy, is going to be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
All right. I was thinking there were two people there, and that was one of them.
Yeah. I'm going with Steamboat. Okay. Steamboat is my favorite singles wrestler of all time. Definitely on my Mount Rushmore. I have seen Steamboat in many absolute 5-star classics, right? Some of which happened before I was really a huge wrestling fan. I had to go back and watch, right? But there were some things that I saw like live, like more, well, not in like, not at the time live. Right. I did see Steamboat wrestle live in the flesh. He wrestled Don Morocco back when I was in high school. I got to go see that, and that was like, holy crap, so cool to fucking see. But like there were a lot of people on that card that was holy crap, so cool to fucking see. For that era. Why can't we? That was during it was a house show in Chicago. It was during the Randy Savage feud.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Damn it, like so damn good. In-ring performer, the best I've ever seen, Ricky Steamboat. So we'll start off. Those are our first two. So we know we will have a Steamboat match, and we know we're gonna have a Shawn Michaels match in our Desert Island watch party, say like a year from now. We're going in hot.
I mean, yeah. I can't, once we get to like 7 months. Cool. It's gonna get rough. Some of these matches are gonna, I can't wait till one of us says like Santino.
Even when it gets to like we got to add a comedy wrestler, I don't think I'll be adding Santino. I think if we got to add comedy guys, I might be adding like some of the British dudes.
Yeah, I'm definitely
like Santino. I don't know that I'll be doing it. All right, but I get it. I understand. Yeah. Because there's a level of levity that there's a point where something changes when Santino hits the ring and it's like, okay, all right, I can take a breather. Woo.
Yeah, this is going to be funny. At least it's going to be funny.
Yeah, at least it'll be funny. Yes. All right. Well, I think we're done, man. This is a good first episode. Yeah. Hell yeah. So I will say to our Legion of Fan out there, our burgeoning podcast audience, you've listened to the very first episode of what are we calling this? This is the
dark match.
Oh, right. Because first episode. Right. Working title, The Dark Match by We Two Black Men in Chicago. Myself, Terry Gant of Chicago, Illinois, currently in Evanston, Illinois, and my boy Khalfani Myrick of Cincinnati, Ohio, but also residing in Chicago, Illinois.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If we were wearing trunks, I'd be wearing the CM Punk Chicago flag, and Khalfani would be the Brian Pillman Bengal stripes.
Oh my God, that would be awful with my skin color and those Bengal stripes, and just in trunks. That'd be tough.
There's so many. Okay, so at a future podcast, I'm going to tell so many stories about my love of Brian Pillman growing up, or not growing up, but back in the day, and how I got to know the city of Cincinnati. Because of my love of Brian Pillman. I
love old Cincinnati stories because, again, when you grow up in a place and you're young, you don't remember it as much. But I love to hear how other people view Cincinnati, Ohio, because I have a very particular view of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Damn city.
Switches depending on who I'm talking to. Yeah. If you're it's like a little brother. It's like if you're from the city, then I'm gonna shit on it. But if you're not from Cincinnati, I will defend it.
Yes. No,
to my dying breath, Cincinnati, Ohio is the greatest place on earth.
That's right. Even for like the worst parts of Chicago, when people who are not from here got something to say about it, I'm like, oh nah, hell no.
Right.
I gotta put Vaseline on my face.
Right.
It's time to go to war.
Get that baby powder on. Slap the shit out of you. Say nothing.
Not having it. Not having it. You can't say shit about no parts of Chicago. You ain't from here.
Nope.
All right. So thank you for listening. And the dark match will return after we watch what's next up. We're watching.
We will watch Hell in a Cell.
Oh, Hell in a Cell.
That's in June now.
Okay.
And we will see what happens.
Double or Nothing for AEW is all at the end of May.
Okay, great. Good.
That might be next.
If the next thing was Hell in a Cell, we would be 0 for 2 on like having positive things to say.
That's in fact true. But we might be talking about people actually dying in the ring. Seeing how AEW's been going lately. So we'll see how this goes.
Great. Well,
right.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening. Till next time.
Catch you later.